Okay, Katli, let's. I want to, for this video, I'm going to dedicate this video just to sum up probability, what this concept is all about. Now, probability is just a number that is used to express the chance that a certain event occurs. In other words, it is a measure of the likelihood of a certain event happening. Now, fundamentally, you have to understand a number of things about events, probability events. Now, as an example, okay, we are going to be denoting the events as E, as a probability event, just an event out of a set of outcomes. For example, when I toss a coin, I know that the likelihood is that the coin can either land on the head side or on the tail side, giving me only two events there. Event one can either be the coin being ahead, or event two, a tail. So out of these events, there is what is known as a sample space. Sample space here, we mean all possible outcomes. So my sample space for this experiment here of tossing a coin, the sample space will have only two outcomes, head, tail. Then let's look at another situation where you now toss a dice. Now, the probability outcomes there are, or events are, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or a 6. Now, we can pick out of the possible outcomes, we can pick events that might occur. For example, you can have a number that is greater than 4. We know that out of this sample space here, the numbers that are greater than 4, I shall call that event 1, give 5 and 6. Event 2, numbers less than 4, which means 1, 2, 3. Now, take note that now the total sample space here for a coin is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Having defined the outcomes, possible outcomes in an event, we can now define probability, that it is going to be a fraction whereby at the top you are going to have the number of possible outcomes for that particular event divided by the number in the sample space. So the probability that an event occurs is equals to the number of outcomes of that event happening divided by the number in the total sample space. Now, I'm going to just cite a few examples there. For example, a probability of tossing a head in a coin, the probability that you have a head is 1 out of 2. The sample space, remember, has only 2 outcomes. So there's only one possibility for a head. The event here has only one occurrence out of 2 in the total sample space. So it's 1 out of 2. Now, if you go to the next one here, probability of tossing an even number in a dice. Probability of getting an even number. Even numbers in the total, out of the total sample space, even numbers are 2, 4, and 6. How many are they? 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to be having 3 there as the number of events divided by the total number in the sample space. So it's 3 out of 6, which simplifies to half. Going to the next one. Probability of tossing either a head or a tail. Head or a tail. Head, there is head and there is tail. So I have 2. Out of that event, I have 2. So my probability there is going to be 2 out of 2, which is 1. We will talk about what this means when the probability is 1 in a moment. Then, what about the probability of tossing a number less than 5 in a die? Numbers that are less than 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of a total sample space of 6. So it becomes 2/3. Two things that we are going to take note of here, that probability lies between 0 and 1. If your answer is outside that range, then know that something is wrong. For any question that requires you to calculate the probability, it has to be a fraction, a decimal, between 0 and 1. Now, this gives you what is known as the probability scale. It ranges from 0. Probability of any event ranges from 0 to 1. Now, what does that mean? If you are saying the probability of an event is 1, it means that that event is surely going to happen. When the probability is 1, then it means that that event is surely going to happen. Like in the previous case here, we said the probability of a head or a tail is 1, because the head or tail, there are 2 events there out of a total sample space of 2. So it's 2 over 2 is 1. Meaning that when you toss a coin, you are either going to get a head or a tail. So that probability is 1. Okay, then when the probability is 0, it means that the event is impossible. It can't happen. Yes, we'll stop there so that next we will do the questions.